Hello YouTubers, Charles here, and we're back playing more Kerbal Space Program First Contract Edition version. And the Kerbal's scientists are going all the time. They don't sleep, and it's night of the first day, and they're still trying to complete some contracts here, so let's actually take a look at what contracts we have. Alright, Gene, keeping track of those contracts. We gotta test the LV-909 engine high above Kerbal, I believe. Yep. Just over, or about 25 kilometers up, and at not too fast a speed. We could probably make a dedicated rocket to do this. Yes, next. We have a contract to test a radial mount parachute in flight over Kerbal. And this is low, before 3,300 meters, and fast, about 400 meters per second or faster. This one's going to be a tricky one. If it was a little higher or a little slower, it wouldn't be too bad. But the combination of not high and pretty fast, well, it either indicates a plane, which we don't really have the tech for yet, or a really light and fast rocket. Yeah. And then we have this contract to test a solid fuel booster at a middle height, and well, I wouldn't say relatively slow, not too quick, let's say. This is not something I think we can do rather easily. This one doesn't really, this doesn't pay out well. But, what other contracts are available? Test a Rockomax Mark 55 radial mount engine. What is a... Oh, I wonder if one of those will let us do what we need to do. Activate the part through staging when all test conditions are met. We basically need to take off with it. Huh. I wonder if this will help us. Maybe not strong enough. Basically, before I recorded this, I did a little testing in a sandbox mode to see what would be necessary for this. And I tested some solid rocket boosters. I had 4 with just a probe body and 4 little girders, and I could not get going at 400 meters per second before 3,000 meters, which is about my cutoff. It's going to take me a little bit of reaction time, and at that point I have like less than a second. Well, it basically, I was over 5,000 meters before I got to 400 meters per second. I did find a way of building a tiny ship using 2 of the LVT-30 liquid engines, the ungimbaled standard engine. But it's not the most stablest of craft. I actually had to throw on some stabilizing fins, and even then it's a close thing to not working. I don't think the Rockomax, which they're half the thrust, a little more than half the thrust, but not that much more than half the thrust. But they're also more than half the weight. So I don't think we'll be able to get the same oomph off the launch pad. So I may not take this. Separation. What are we? Separatron 1. This I'd like to do. And we have 5 years. We got 5 years to rescue Nellery. Let us take this contract. We can rescue him in the next 5 years. All right. Test a basic jet engine while we're splashed down. Seems like a interesting way to test an engine. This will give us 14 science, but the money isn't worth it, basically. Almost. No. And then we have all these test decoupler in orbit. Pretty tight range there, but see, this pays decently. Well, a lot of these 2 days, a day, 4 hours a day, never expires. Test a Rockomax 487S. That's one of the tiny engines that gives about 30 thrusts or so. On escape trajectory. Yeah. Science would be nice. Pay's not good enough. Test a radial decoupler while splashed down. 3 hours. Expires in a day. Small gear bay. Yeah, you're also not worth it. Okay. That's it for science at this point. Or for contracts at this point. Science-wise, I now seem to have 28.6 science. I think that's more than we had last time. I thought I had 18 exactly and I couldn't get this, but let's take this now because it's not the fin I used, but I'm going to need a fin of some sort. I actually believe I used this fin, but this is going to require more science. So let's Well, let's take this at this point. And, let's try to fulfill contracts. But this time, 1, maybe 2 at a time at most. If that. Alright. Liquid fuel engine. That's gonna need to be pretty high. Radial mount parachute. That's the one I want to see if I can. Oh, I don't have any pro bodies. Well, there goes that. We have a whole year. Solid fuel in flight. See, this I think we can do. Alright, that's one of these RT-10s. Yeah. There. Get rid of you. So we need pilots for now. You're the gimbaling one, right? You're 200, yes. Alrighty, we'll I think we'll do 3-way symmetry on the bottom. We're gonna need a little extra oomph off the ground. That should be okay, I guess. And then up here, these will be the engines we use to test with. And they just... yeah, they barely clear. Okay, so my plan is to use these 3 engines to take off. They will be in the bottom stage here. We will then go on this liquid engine and hopefully get up to... that's a little too much, hopefully. Trying to be as cost efficient, but I also don't want to fail these, because failing them is then really not cost efficient at all. A little more liquid fuel. Alright, so we got 4 of these to take off with. That should get us going rather well. Should take us over 5,000. We'll then be on the liquid engine. And the liquid engine will allow us to get up to, 1,400 meters. Hopefully at that speed. That's the thing that's worrying me now. We should be... hopefully we'll be good. We'll have up to 1,500 to get... after 10,000 you start picking up speed. So I can slow down if needed. Yeah, usually 200 at 10,000 is about where you want to be, not faster than that. So that will give us basically 5,000 meters to 5,000, yeah, 5 kilometers to get up another 100 meters per second. That shouldn't be a problem. At that point, we activate these engines for the test. So that is what we'll be testing. These upper engines. And then we can drop them away as needed. The only thing left is some parachutes. Yeah, when we dump these, we'll do the parachutes, and we'll take this center part back. I think that's the plan. What were we up to? Mission 5. I did not click that. I want that, right? Alright. So, we are going for a single contract here. We're not going to get near to space. Theoretically, we could try to get this on the way down, but I don't think there'll be any way we'll be going over 400 meters per second. Just in case, I will attempt to drop. But if we're going, as soon as we go slower than 400, I am popping these chutes. I don't think we'll be going nearly that quickly. And, yeah, we don't have one of these engines to test. At least not on this ship for this flight. Alright, so that's what we're doing. Alright, I am throttling up, but it should not matter until we get to the liquid stage. Let's put out the contract. And this is the one we're interested in. Solid fuel booster in flight over Kerbal at 14 to 16 kilometers up. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, lift off. And we're doing quite nicely here. Getting up to 200. Probably go over it, but that's fine as long as we don't go over 400, which I don't think will be a problem. And this should get us up to 5,000, which is where we want to be. We let those go. And we are slowing down, but we seem to be... we should be leveling off about 150 meters per second. And, yeah, 146, but we are picking up speed again. Alright, we just need to get up to 290 before 1,600 meters. Or 16 kilometers, I should say. I'm wondering if turning over at this point and going sideways would be beneficial. Because I want to pick up speed. It doesn't seem to be beneficial at all. I want to pick up speed without picking up height. We're almost out of fuel. Oh, here we are starting to pick up a nice amount of speed. There we go. And yep, now we are starting to flip out because our center of thrust is kind of off or above our center of mass. Maybe this will help our radial engine. Radial parachute. No, we're already going slower than 400. Let's pop the parachutes. Gonna land in the water here, so we should be able to get a soil sample, or in this case a liquid sample, which will add to our science. Can we get a crew report? Let's keep that, and let's turn off the SAS. After these parachutes open, okay, we're coming down. We're coming down nice and slow. So I want to. Gonna try to be a bit of a daredevil here and get some more science. EVA, hold on. EVA report. He is flying. Keep the data. Board. So we got some flying EVA data. I'm gonna fast forward just a bit here. Okay, we are almost down now. Slowed back down. Please don't break. Okay, that was relatively spin this way. It's relatively safe landing. Yeah, don't go all the way under. Let's EVA. Space select go. And we're gonna do another EVA report. Okay. Take a surface sample. We're gonna keep that data. We will now take all the data and then grab and board, and let's recover the vessel. Okay, we actually got 24 additional science. Not quite as much as I was hoping. Well, let's see how we did here. We got 3 science from crew report while flying. A little over 5 from the EVA report. 12 from the surface sample. 3 from the EVA report in the water. I should have done a crew report in the water. And, well, none from recovering the vessel. We got a little over 4,500 back. Actually, I didn't note how much the vessel cost. And, of course, we got Jebediah back, and we got 10 reputation. We also completed a contract that got us 911 monies, funds, and 73 reputation. Okay, would have hoped to get a little bit more. Let's test this liquid fuel engine now. Alright, so we got maybe a third of the cost of the ship back. We're gonna need a totally new ship. So we're gonna start off with a capsule. And we're just gonna take a tiny bit of fuel for this engine. Because we're gonna need to be pretty high, but we don't need to be going fast at all. We don't need to be going any speed at all, really. I mean, we just once we start this engine, we don't need the fuel. There's gonna be very little recovered from this craft, though. I'm hoping this will... Well, this will be able to lift this weight. We just need to keep going once we're going. This should be able... Well... The previous one got us... Well, it would have gotten us to 16, probably higher. I'm hoping this is less weight on top, so that this will be at least the same performance. These are a little more than twice the cost. However, they also are more thrust, so you won't need as many. And they definitely burn longer. I'm hoping it's twice as long, and I'm gonna quickly look it up. Fuel anti-drag. They have a little more than twice the fuel. But they also burn it at a faster rate. So you don't really get twice the burn time. I'm gonna... How heavy are things? Trivial weight added by these. And one parachute. That's going to be my landing system. I'm going to try 3 of those larger rockets. Or larger boosters, I should say. And just because I have them now, yeah, these are practically free. Just so things don't go too wobbly. It's a cheaper rocket actually than our previous launch. I just hope it can get us to 25 kilometers. We are calling you Mission 6. And we're going to attempt to test these LV901 liquid engine here. So let's try for that. And I'm also hoping to maybe land in the mountains or the highlands and get a surface sample from there. So let's try this out. I'm gonna throttle up a bit. Let us check the staging. But yeah, again, we're going to just be testing out one contract here, or trying to fulfill one contract. And our initial stage doesn't have any liquid engine, so the throttling up is just for so I don't forget to do it later. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. Alright, this looks like it's going nicely. We're keeping a decent speed here. Don't want to go too fast. I am hoping these, though, get me higher than the previous ship before they run out. And it looks like we'll easily make 5,000, maybe even 7,000 or so. Which would be nice. Oh yeah, we're still going. Can we hit 9 or maybe even 10? Okay. Yeah, we got going way faster than I intended. I'm going to turn slightly west here. I'm actually going to slow down because we are approaching the max speed and I don't want to overspeed this. No, we are going to be wasting fuel basically. 24. Too high and too fast, but we should be what is our... that could have gone... That could have gone to space, probably. And yeah, sorry, this is going to be really dark. Let's try to keep it in the Milky Way there or whatever. I'm going to attempt to get this on the way down. Alright, we are coming down. As long as we are over 180 at 26 kilometers. and not over 480, which actually may be the problem. I want to jettison, I want to... Yeah, we're going to be over 480 here in just a second. Yeah. That's really too bad. Oh, going back up again, but I was hoping a test button would show up. Oh well. Yeah, we're coming back down again. We don't have a radial parachute to even attempt this. But yeah, we're already going too slow. Mountains are over this way. It's hard to see though. I'm gonna pop parachutes now. Or parachute, I should say. It should slow us down decently. We have landing legs. Okay, we're nowhere really near the mountains. Let's try to get some more. No, that's not what you're not supposed to let go. How do we get you on your? Wow, that went really bad. You're supposed to hold on to the handle. Well, this is a sad day for Kerbal Space Center. No science. Very little cost recovered. Okay. Well, we have to move on. It's what Jeb would have wanted. Oh, looks like we got Bill up. We had a lot of fuel that we just threw away. Let's try to make this more cost effective. And we had 3 of these. I'm wondering if 2 will now be enough. I'm trying to get that little... There we go. Mission 6A. This looks like a significant cost savings. I'm hoping it will also fulfill the contract this time. Okay. Let's put the... well... leave the throttle there. We are taking off in 3, 2, 1... Hopefully these will also take us to about 10,000. We have one less, but the ship is lighter. So I'm hoping it works out. Looking like it may not take us quite as high, but we are picking up speed here, so it's going to be close. Yeah, actually it's very similar. Just turning slightly, and actually throttle way down so we don't go too fast. Alright, we have successfully tested the engine. Oh, and we've also activated the parachute. Well, luckily, since we're up high enough, it hasn't come out yet, and, oh, that is... Actually, that's not too bad. Right now it shows us going a little past the mountains, but I think with some drag, we'll be landing near the mountains, I think. I think that's roughly straight up. That's, well, maybe not roughly straight up. Actually, on our way down, let's, I think that white patch is one of the, peaks. Alright, that should be good, I think. Let's put our gear out. I said let's put our gear out. There we go. Our parachute is out. Bill here. Oh yeah, it looks like we are... Well, we might have flown over the mountains. Hopefully we'll land in highlands, or... Looks like maybe still a few over here. Don't want to risk fast forwarding here because I'm not exactly sure the height the ground is at. Get a crew report. Okay, I got a crew report. Not sure I want to risk another EVA while flying. It actually looks like we're gonna land on this mountain top or peak or whatever this is exactly. Going a little fast. Stay safe. Oh, that's actually... Can we spin you off of there? Oh, come on. Roll. Roll for me. I'd like to get out and get a surface sample because that would solve my science needs. We got some power though. Stay. Great. EVA. Let go. Can we do an EVA report? A little science. Take a surface sample. That's going to be good science. And let's plant the flag. For Jeb. Can we grab it and board? Actually, EVA, take data, grab, board, crew report just for a little additional science, and let's recover the vessel. So we gathered 16 science, about 3,000 in parts recovered. We got Bill back for 7 reputation, and we got 4 science from completing 120 reputation and just under 5,000 funds. We need to test this radial parachute. And we have 55 science, and I think this may give us everything we need for 45 science. So let's take this and see if we can complete this real quick. So this gave us 2 things we need. One, gave us our first probe body. me just hit new. Pro bodies, well, won't risk Kerbals. And considering what just happened, that's a good thing. What is this thing's dry mass? Can we find that out? I'm sure we can. Yeah, that will help us. So we got a pro body, and I am going to empty this of fuel. This is just going to act as our spaceship body. Because I need 2 engines to get us the thrust we need. Each engine will be running off one of these half tanks. So we don't need fuel lines. We don't have fuel lines. Now here's the tricky part. I think we need the extra thrust that this engine provides. It's also a little bit lighter, as it doesn't have the motors or servos or whatever is used for tilting the engine nozzle. And we're going to need 2 of them. Finally, well, not finally. We need, well, one of these radial mount engines, parachutes. At least one. We're a little lighter than my test craft, so I'm going to put on 2. So they will be truly radial mount. When I tested, I had one on the top. So it wasn't really radial mounted. The thing is, probes don't have much gyros. Their gyros are really weak. They just have small gyros. And these don't have thrust vectoring. So if the weight shifts slightly, this is going to have a hard time correcting. That's where these winglets come in. Now they're really light, but they give control authority. The problem is we need to attach them as low as possible so that they're below the center of mass. Right now they're right on it, which it's not ideal. And well, we'll see how we can do with this, or how this will do. This will be Mission 7. Now the hope is that this will get over 400 before, or 400 meters per second before we reach 3,000 meters. That should be before it runs out of fuel. And then we just activate these and well, we complete that contract. Then we can go on to bigger and better contracts. The thing we need to do, though, is put the engines and the parachutes in a different stage. Now, the only concerns I have is I have 2 parachutes now, so parachutes are actually not that light. To make up for it, though, I have a lighter probe, and I was actually using one of these tanks empty, which is heavier as a body. But also, the body was a little longer, so I think I had these fins down a little further, but hopefully the aerodynamics won't be an issue until after we've already run out of fuel. So let's see how this does. Alright, we definitely need this open. We need thrust all the way up. And we need some luck on our side. So, in 3, 2, 1, and as soon as these are all green, come on. There, we did it. I'm not sure how close it was. I was only watching the contracts over here. But yeah, that worked, and we didn't actually even flip out here. Yeah, let's turn off SAS. Power's still going to go down because the pro body uses power. We just need to recover this safely. Hopefully get a lot of our money back. I'm actually flying around a bit here. It's because of the weird physics. This basically has pretty light weight at this point and decent lift because of these fins. So we're really flying sideways now, the way the game calculates aerodynamics. At least by default. There's mods to make the aerodynamics a lot more realistic. Although I like to try to stay on vanilla or default game. Actually, I did use MechJeb a little bit for a short time. The only other mod I really used is actually one that simulated or made a version of this career mode long before career mode was ready. Come on, slow down so I can fall. Basically, once this gets under 500 and these parachutes open up fully, we'll probably really land. Let me time warp and slow down again once we get near 500, because this is just gonna float around here for a while. Alright, we're getting close to where these will open up, and I don't want to risk pulling the parachutes off. Okay. Coming down at 7 meters per second, which might be a little fast, but hopefully these engines will survive. Actually, well, it's probably still a ways away, but there's an anomaly out here somewhere. It's over there more. Alright, about to touch down. Should be able to survive. And we have. So let's recover the vessel. No science. Got 97.9% value back minus our fuel. And we completed a contract. I think we actually made money on that. And we got some little bit of science out of that, and a little bit of reputation. So I'm gonna call that an episode there. We did have a setback. We lost Jebediah, our go-to main man for space, #1 pilot. But we did complete 3 contracts in ships built specifically for them, although we had to do a second try on one of the ships. So, got things to look forward to for next time with Gene Kerman here and some additional possible contracts and things like that. And there's always more science to unlock. We can't unlock anything yet, or at the moment, I should say. But with some of the contracts we have, we should be getting some science. Maybe going back into orbit and getting some science there. And going to further places like the moon or Minmus. So I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for watching some Kerbal Space Program First Contract.